I thought I could update my budget a little bit this morning. Of course, it's like impossible with kids, and it's even more impossible to try to film a TikTok. So I have all my receipts in my basket still. I am trying to get them put into my spreadsheet. And what I've realized is how I set up my spreadsheet. I have all my income coming in and then all my monthly expenses that or every month, my mortgage, car payment, property tax, stuff like that, right? And things that change month to month, like my utilities or the daycare, depending on how many days in a month there are, I made those cells a specific color because I know that I have to update those ones every single month. They don't change. So then I move over into whatever's left over, I've divided by how many weeks are in the month. Like for example, oh my gosh, we're already in May. This is crazy. But May, I put 5 weeks down for how it's been falling. April, I had 4 weeks. So I take whatever's left over after all the bills and the monthly subscriptions and stuff that has to come out. I take whatever's left over and divide it by the number of weeks left for the month. And that's the number that I'm supposed to be using as my budget to be able to allocate towards groceries and gas. And then I hope that, if I don't spend all of it 1 week, I can have a little bit of a rollover for the next week. Or if I've spent too much 1 week, then I know I have to scale back the following week. The thing is, I gave myself 12 cells with my with the formula that I put in there. So I gave myself basically 12 transactions a week, and I already increased that. It used to be 9. I gave myself an extra 3. And now I'm realizing that in the month of March, I went over with my transactions. But the thing is too, it's not that I'm like completely overspending, but because I've been trying to watch and trying to go for sales and stuff, and my husband's so mad at me that I go to the grocery store way too many times and to too many different ones. So when I'm trying to put them all in transactions, it's just more than 12 transactions in a week. So that's why I'm trying to almost double them up, or they end up in the following week, or they end up in the following month now. At the end of all of that, I have what's calculated as I put in my pay as bonus pay, because depending on how much I'm working because of the kids and everything, mine's a little more flexible than my husband's. We kind of did a base budget off of my husband's work, and then mine is almost like to help us top it up and to help us give us a little bit of wiggle room. And so at the end of the day, or at the end of the week, it'll show what we've spent with our groceries and our gas, and then it'll show a running balance for each week and a running balance for each month, and then it'll carry over from month to month. So it seems a little bit complicated. Like my husband can't follow my spreadsheet, and I know it's not like one of those basic budget spreadsheets that you can find online, but this is what I found has been working for us with our situation. And that's the only problem I have with budget templates, is that everybody's in a different situation, and you have to really watch your formulas if you take a template one, because then you have to make sure that it's reading the right formulas. Like my dad found one on the internet, and I was like, okay, that's great that you found one and that you're using it. And when I was going through it, I was like, these numbers aren't adding up, because he had added in extra lines, but he didn't adjust the formulas to account for those lines. Because I'm like, how do you only have $60 left over each month? You guys are not going to make it. I was like, do I have dependents now? It was horrible. It's like, oh, okay, no. You forgot to add in your old age security line here. So whenever you do get a template, make sure you check your formulas with it. Make sure that you have the ability to adjust, because it's not one size fits all with finances, right? So we have to adjust and have a specific plan that's tailored to your specific situation.